Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Peter. For those of you that are new here, welcome. For those of you that are continuously supporting the channel, thank you so much. All right, so today I'm here to give you guys your ancestor message, and your ancestor message today is about you taking time with yourself and you allowing yourself room to experience whatever it is that you are trying to experience, or whatever emotion or feeling that you are going through right now. Especially when it comes to grief. We are not taught on a day-to-day the proper way to grieve. And so your guides and your ancestors are saying that it is okay to grieve, and do not get caught up in the spiritual oppression surrounding your grief. What I mean by the spiritual oppression surrounding your grief, in this new age, or in whatever this thing is called, because I'm still trying to figure out like what this thing is called. Whether they call it a new age, I don't know. I don't subscribe to a lot of those things, but I'm just trying to figure out what they call it. But many of it know it as a new age spirituality or whatever. And this new age spirituality tends to oppress people. Okay? And so your guides and your ancestors are saying that, look, don't allow these different types of spiritual titles, these different types of spiritual ages, these different type of spiritualists oppress you. It is not low vibrational for you to feel. And for anyone to tell you that, that's oppression. Okay? Especially if they're using it to condemn you. Okay? Or to keep you in a certain space, or to prevent you from moving forward. All right? Allow yourself time to grieve. You are not in control of your grief. You are not in control of how long it takes you to get through something or get over something. The only thing you are in control in is how you respond to whatever happened to you, and if and when you decide to get back up. Now, I hope you get back up, but still, you're going to have to rely on your spiritual strength, your guides, your ancestors, your team, everything around you, this whole entire universal cosmic flow to assist you to get through this. But you're going to have to surrender to the process of whatever this is. Whether this is grief, whether this is an immense love, whether this grief is surrounding a relationship that's gone awry, whether this grief is surrounding a job that you just really needed or really desired and you didn't get it, or they let you go. Whether this grief is surrounding something dealing with your kid, maybe your kid then got themselves in some trouble. But you're going to have to allow this process to unfold the way that it needs to unfold. You're not in charge of this process. Your guides and your ancestors want me to tell you that, like, everything within the universe, everything that lives, everything that exists, to include bacteria, germs, all that good jazz, everything, these microorganisms, these subatomic particles, everything, the moon, the stars, the sun, everything has a time. Everything has a season. Everything is still connected to its universal clock. However, for some reason, human beings feel like we do not have to pay attention to hours anymore. You know. And your guides and your ancestors are saying, no, that's not true. If the trees need to take a break, if the sun and the moon rotates so that they can pull their 24-hour shift, if the stars and the clouds rotate, well, the clouds be out all the time, but you know, clouds only need like 4 hours. I'm joking. But if everything rotates and everything moves according to its biological system and its biological clock and its biological timing, then humans also have a time. And that time typically comes when we are going through some type of transition, when we are going through some level of elevation, when we are going through some form of grief. But we done condensed our grief into 72 hours, haven't we? So that's what your guys and your ancestors, it's going to take longer than 72 hours. It's going to take longer than the repast. Okay? It might take a year, it might take 2 years, it might take months, you might be over it tomorrow. It depends on how deep the grief is. So allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to experience it, right? Everything, the migrations, the hibernations, when the dam flows, when the river droughts, like everything has its time. And the leaves are sprouting and the fruits are bearing, and then there's no leaves and there's no fruits. Everything has to die in order for something new to be birthed. And what your guides and your ancestors are saying is they want you to appreciate every event in your life. Because not every event in your life is something bad. And if it may have felt bad at the moment, but guess what? It has assisted in creating who you are today. Because had certain events not happened, you would not have been where you are today. You would not be there. You wouldn't have the insight. You wouldn't have the intellect. You wouldn't have the understanding. You wouldn't have the know-how. And then when somebody else comes to you later on with the same experience, you're able to share your experience and share the things that you were able to do to assist yourself in getting out of it. Your guides and your ancestors are also saying that like some of these things that are coming to you, this is just more information to put inside, to store when it's time for you to begin now walking in your divine purpose. But every experience has its own, every experience that you experience, there's a purpose for it, whether good or bad. But there are no such thing as bad experiences. They're all lessons because you're at school. You on Earth school. You're doing what Earth's saying you got to do. You're trying to figure out Earth. You're trying to make sure that you pass this class. All right? And you're going to be faced on Earth. You're going to always be faced with tough decisions. You're going to be faced with love. You're going to be faced with fear. You're going to be faced with everything. But everybody always chooses the love. Everybody always wants to feel love. Everybody wants to feel accepted. Everybody always wants to do their best, which is why they project to the world the good parts of themselves. But you have to also embrace those not so nice selves, those not so nice parts of yourselves. Because until you embrace those not so nice parts of yourselves, you won't be your whole self. You will always be the version of yourself that you want people to see, not the version of yourself who you truly are. I did not want to change my YouTube name to the Ancestral Alchemist because I'm like, no, I want to be the Ancestral Healer. That's what I wanted to be. Until the ancestors and my spirit team took me through this alchemic process. And I'm like, oh, I understand now. But what I wanted for myself was not necessarily what they wanted for myself. For me. I said for myself like I'm talking to another person. For me. And that's what your ancestors are saying. Like each event, each experience, everything that is done, there's a purpose for everything that is done. And you have to understand that. There's going to be a lot of positive change. Right now, it might be filled with calamity. Right now, everything just might be catastrophe after catastrophe, incident after incident. You feel like you get out of one trench and fall back into another trench. It's okay. But there's going to be a lot of positive flow, and there's going to be a lot of positive change. You're going to see. Some of y'all are going to be traveling and going other places. All right. Some of y'all going to be going through having some major moves. And some of this stuff going to come real easy and effortless. Okay. You'll see. Because your ancestors and your guides are promising you this. You just have to believe it. You have to choose to be the victor. You have to choose to not be the victim. Because you might be going through something right now, but guess what? You're going to come out on top because that's how the cards are aligned. That's how the deck is stacked. You might be feeling like you've been dealt a sour hand right now, but it's going to be sweet in the end. And so your guides and your ancestors are saying they want you to use all of this wisdom that they have given you now to assist yourself in finding a new avenue of approach and how to get yourself out of this debacle. Because you can do it. This situation might look familiar to you, but it's different. It's almost set up the same, but it's kind of different than the last time you experienced it. And you guys and your ancestors are saying that you kind of like on the fence about what the difference is, but that difference is how you're going to get yourself through it. and how you're going to assist yourself in releasing it, because you've seen it before. So now what do? You have to choose whatever this new direction is. It looks the same, but you can't do it the same way. And your guys' answer is saying, don't over nurture this situation, because sometimes you get into the habit of like over nurturing stuff, and too much nurture is bad. Just like not enough nurture is bad. Think about a plant. Look, I wish I could have been like the Ancestral garden or something, because I love this garden, right? But look, think about a plant. If you don't put enough water in it, the leaves dry up and they die. If you don't fertilize the plant and put the appropriate amount of water in it, the leaves will grow, but they won't be green. They'll be like yellow or something. But if you put the right amount of nitrogen and all that stuff in there, and the right amount of minerals and nutrients, that thing gonna be green, right? But if you put too much water in it, they'll wither and die too, because that's over-nurtured. So you can kill it. You can kill it if you don't give it enough, and you can kill it if you give it too much. So you guys, the answer saying, don't over-nurture none of these situations that you are experiencing. Make your plan. Start strategizing. Prepare yourself. Okay? Your guides and your ancestors don't want you to continue in this cycle. All right? Whatever this cycle may be for you. And you're going to have to call on your angels and stuff to assist you out of it. The stuff that you experience, like the things that you experience, can kind of like as you throughout the years, as you've grown, whether you've grown with parents or without, there is something that you tend to overlook. And your guys are like, you can't overlook that. You can't overlook any of this. What are you doing? The reason why you're missing the mark is because you trying to erase a mark. You can't erase any of this stuff that has occurred. You can't erase any of this stuff that has happened. You have to revisit all of these things. And you're going to have to go through some introspection. And then you're going to have to now say, all right, how do I deal with it? And you're going to call in your guides and your angels and all that to assist you in coming up out of it. Because you've been sent here to fulfill a mission. Only you and your innate know what that mission is. Only you. You're going to have to call on them to ask them for healing during this time. You're going to have to call on them to ask them for assistance during this. Whatever it is that you need. Because you might not even need healing. You just might need them to just shine a light on tell them, say, ancestors, I'm missing it a little bit. I don't even know which one I'm supposed to pick. Can you just point it out to me? And then your gut instinct is going to tell you what it is. Don't ignore your gut instinct. Do what your gut tell you to do. Because they say you've been ignoring your gut too. They're going to be sending you a lot of information in your dreams. I'm telling y'all, your ancestors are coming in your dreams and they are giving you messages. They might not make sense to you. They're not about your subconscious. They are direct messages to you, to your spirit, telling you what's next. So whatever you got to do to sit down with that dream when you wake up after you write it down, meditate on it. I'm telling you, your guides and your ancestors are sending you your messages. You have to be aware that that's what it is. Yesterday I was driving. I didn't even expect the message while I was driving, but I was driving. I ain't had no music on. I was just driving. Something took place at the facility or whatever, and I'm driving and I'm like, man, I can't believe this happened. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, I wonder what is this going to be like? I wonder what this is going to be like. And I'm driving, and then as I'm driving past, I'm looking at the car next to me and I'm like, this car say 155. It said 155 on a license plate, and on the window it had like a bumper sticker. And I was like, oh shoot, that's what it is then, And I was so happy to see that message because I wasn't even expecting a message. I don't even think I was pondering about anything, any types of challenges that I was having. It was a challenge that someone who I had just left was having, and me, nurturing cancer, wanted to help out, but I was able to receive an answer just like that for a situation that didn't involve me, but but it involved me because I was thinking about it and I witnessed it happening, you know. And so that's how your guys and your ancestors, they're gonna communicate with you in some of the weirdest ways. But you have a purpose here. Some of y'all are to work, do y'all little earth things. Some of y'all are water babies. Y'all elemental babies. Hey, y'all have some things that y'all gotta do. We all got our little part. And stop thinking, my gosh. Okay. Please, please, please stop thinking that one person's gift, power, and ability is better than another one. That's ego. Okay? That's what they're saying. Like when people say, oh, that little bitty, oh, they gotta do it like that. That mean they ain't got no power. That don't mean that they ain't got no power. Stop with that power stuff. What you know about power? You don't know nothing about power. If you're speaking about power, you don't know about it and you don't have any. If you're speaking about it in that regards, because that's your ego talking. You might be looking at somebody that's 19 years old, but that person's soul is 565,000 years old. You may be looking at somebody that's 50 years old, but their soul is only 2. So don't judge. Do not be out here passing judgment on people. That's what I was telling you too. Like, you don't think you're gonna get the message from somewhere. It don't matter where the message come from. That message could come from TD Jakes. You don't even got to subscribe to that type of spirituality. But guess what? You can receive a message. You can get a message from Cardi B. But that doesn't mean that just because it came from Cardi B that it wasn't a message from you. For you. So that's what your guys and your ancestors are wanting you to know. You get these messages from anywhere. Be paying attention from these messages. Whatever it is whatever you're seeking in your divine truth, right? Whatever's going on internally, what you're searching for, with your divine truth, whatever happened in your past, take these things and bring them to the forefront, not to take on the role as the victim, but take these things as something that you can use in order to help to assist you in the direction that you're going, to help you become strong, because no experience is bad, and all of these experiences you can learn something. Everything that you ever went through, you can learn something. It's a lesson about a relationship. It's a lesson about this. It's a lesson about that. So what's it saying? That like whatever it is that you are calling for, you have to be ready to be able to handle what it is. All right. You want to be some type of priest or priestess, like in one of these Yoruba lands or something like that. Hey, you better be ready for what that entails. You need to have the discipline. You need to have the motivation. You need to have the knowledge. You need to have the insight. You need to know what you're dealing with. When you get into a world like this, you need to be ready. Sometimes it's things that I find out as I go along my journey that I wish someone would have told me throughout this community. It wouldn't have stopped me from going and doing the research, but a Dawn Show would have prepared me, okay? And that's what you got to understand. You need to be prepared for whatever it is that whatever journey it is that you're embarking upon, and whatever it is that you're calling for. Because when I requested to be in communication with my ancestors and to figure out what my life purpose and my soul purpose was, I was so excited, y'all. I was so excited. But then here we are years later, and I'm like, whew, this is a lot, I have to take a reprieve, and it's not, it has nothing to do with anything. Like, you're not weak if you need to take a reprieve. You're actually strong for noticing that there is something that you need to do. You need to take a reprieve. You need to take a break from something in order for you to come back whole, in order for you to be better. Because you cannot give from an empty cup. If there's no water in the well, nobody can drink from it, baby. All right? So those are some of the things that you need to understand it of. All right? And don't be rushing off to get no title, y'all. If you're not ready for that, don't go rushing off and getting it. Be careful what it is that you call forth. Be careful what it is that you asking your ancestors and your God for. You better be ready. I've seen so many people win the lottery one year and have no money the next because they didn't possess what they needed in order to maintain the money. The money just flew out their hand. They're like, oh, I don't know where my money Moldavite went? It went to everything that it didn't need to go to because you didn't know how to create more of it. You just knew how to get it. And that's another thing. Don't be one of those ones that know how to get it and don't know how to share with nobody else. Don't know how to tell. Don't know how to make it work for you and create more of it for other people. You know? So that's what your guys' ancestors are saying. Right now, you may be in this space and you feeling like, dang, I'm just not where I want to be. But it ain't about where you want to be. They're making sure that when you get where you want to be, that you are completely ready for it. Because, let me tell you, you're going to have to build up some stamina for where they're about to take you. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this message. If you like the content on this page, again, hit like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Share if you care. And I'll holler at y'all